1 spoon of apple cider vinegar in your garden will do this. Gardening is an art of nurturing and growing healthy plants. It is not only a means of beautifying your outside area. Like every good work of art, though, it presents certain difficulties. Plant diseases, bugs, and weeds could make gardening problematic, but what if we tell you your hidden weapon may be a basic kitchen staple? Apple cider vinegar, in particular, is not only for dressing salads. Thanks in large part to its major component, acetic acid, it is a powerhouse in the garden too. From controlling annoying weeds to extending the freshness of your blossoms, apple vinegar may do miracles without using strong chemicals. Today's video will look at the 11 unexpected uses of 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar for the garden. 1. Managing weeds. Given its principal component, acetic acid, vinegar is a simple and powerful tool for weed control in the garden. This agent dries out and kills the plants by extracting the moisture from the weed leaf. Direct vinegar spraying on weeds causes the acetic acid to rapidly break down the cell membrane and dehydrate the plant tissues. In young, newly developing weeds, whose root systems are not yet strong enough to withstand such a fast loss of moisture, this activity is especially quick. Vinegar's concentration has a big impact on how effective it is at killing weeds. Usually containing roughly 5% acetic acid, household vinegar may control minor, immature weeds quite successfully. For more advanced or bigger weeds, meanwhile, a higher quantity of vinegar, such as horticultural vinegar, which could have up to 20% acetic acid, may be required. Although higher concentrations are more powerful, they also raise the potential for soil damage and inadvertent injury to adjacent plants. Studies say 200 grain vinegar provides 83% weed control. 2. Soil pH adjustment. Vinegar may be useful in the garden to adjust soil pH, particularly for making the soil more acidic, which benefits certain types of plants that thrive in lower pH environments. The primary ingredient in vinegar, acetic acid, has the ability to lower the pH of the soil it is applied to. This is particularly beneficial for acid-loving plants like blueberries, rhododendrons, and azaleas, which require a soil pH of around 4.5 to 6.0 to optimally absorb nutrients, particularly iron. When vinegar is diluted with water and applied to the soil, the acetic acid dissociates into acetate and hydrogen ions. The increase in hydrogen ions in the soil solution is what lowers the soil's pH, making it more acidic. However, the effect of 1 spoon of vinegar on soil pH is generally temporary and not as deep-reaching or long-lasting as that of other soil amendments like sulfur, which may take months to alter the pH significantly, but with more enduring results. Moreover, according to studies, biochar from vinegar residue works as an effective material for alleviating lead stress in alkaline loam soil. 3. Repellent of Ant. Using its strong aroma and acidic character to disturb ant paths and discourage their presence, vinegar is a useful remedy for repelling ants in the garden. Using pheromone trails, chemical scent markers left behind to lead other ants to food sources, ants communicate and negotiate. Applying 1 spoon of vinegar to locations where ants are active causes the strong scent and acidic qualities of the vinegar to interact with these pheromone trails, therefore confusing the ants and making it difficult for them to return to the source they were following. Usually, the approach to utilizing vinegar as an ant repellent is to make an equal parts water and vinegar solution. This combination might then be sprayed straight along ant paths across the garden's perimeter or close to the home's entrance. Regular application of the solution is crucial, particularly following rain or watering, since the vinegar may be readily diluted or washed away, therefore compromising its potency. Although vinegar might control ants without turning to strong chemical insecticides, it is not a kill-all fix. Vinegar mostly serves as a deterrent. It does not kill ants on direct contact. Furthermore, vinegar's transitory effectiveness in repelling ants could require regular reapplications to maintain its deterrent qualities. Some gardeners also note that if there are additional attractants in the surroundings, such as uncovered trash, pet food, or other food residue, vinegar might not totally address the ant issue, even if it may drive ants away from some areas temporarily. 4. Scraping garden tools. Because of its acidic qualities, which help eliminate rust, and stop the development of plant diseases, apple vinegar is quite good for cleaning garden tools. Garden tools frequently come into contact with soil, plant material, and moisture when used, all of which could help rust develop and fungal spores or bacteria spread between plants. Maintaining the usefulness of this equipment and stopping the spread of disease in the garden depend on regular cleaning. Vinegar's naturally occurring cleaning agents are its acetic acids. Applied to garden equipment, it breaks down organic matter that might have stuck to surfaces and helps dissolve rust. Tools like hoes, shovels, and pruners that come into direct contact with the soil and plants should especially be taken into consideration. Depending on the degree of rust or grime, you might only soak the equipment in full-strength white vinegar for many hours or even overnight to clean it. The vinegar breaks down the crusty deposit and rust, which facilitates scrubbing or wiping off. Usually, a basic scrape with a brush or scouring pad helps to remove the residue on the instruments after soaking. Once the tools are clean, they must be rinsed with water to eliminate any vinegar residue, since long-term contact with vinegar may cause metal parts to corrode. Moreover, completely drying the instruments before storage is essential to stop fresh rust from developing. 5. Protect freshness of flowers. Acetic acid found in vinegar, especially white vinegar, acts as a naturally occurring antibacterial agent. 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar addition to the water in a flower vase could help to stop bacterial growth. These better surroundings let the flowers stay fresher longer and more efficiently absorb water. Usually, the advised combination is for 2 tablespoons of vinegar for every quart of water. Furthermore, a little sugar is usually added to the water along with the vinegar to increase the potency of the vinegar in keeping cut flowers fresh. The flowers eat sugar since it gives them the nutrition they need to stay alive and blossom. Combining vinegar and sugar in the water replicates the natural sap of a plant, providing both food and antimicrobial defense. 6. Eliminate mineral concentration. Particularly on clay or other porous surfaces, 1 spoon of vinegar is quite successful in eliminating mineral deposits from garden tools and containers. Commonly referred to as limescale or hard water stains, mineral deposits build over time when water high in minerals like calcium and magnesium evaporates from surfaces. With just water, these deposits could create ugly white or gray crusts that would be difficult to remove. Vinegar's acetic acid is what gives it great strength as a cleaning agent against these mineral formations. By chemically reacting with the minerals in the deposits, acetic acid may break them down into soluble chemicals that might be readily wiped or rinsed away. Often, only a few hours of contact are needed to remove thick deposits. This reaction is not only quick but also powerful. You may either soak the impacted utensils or pots in plain vinegar or use a cloth soaked in vinegar to treat mineral deposits. For big objects or areas of heavy accumulation, several treatments could be required. Once the vinegar has had time to dissolve the mineral deposits, any leftover residue is usually eliminated with a basic brush scrape. Cleaning is only one aspect. Another is carefully rinsing the objects with water to eliminate any vinegar residue, since some materials may be damaged over extended acid exposure. 7. Effective trap for fruit fly. Fruit flies in the garden or kitchen may be effectively trapped using vinegar, especially apple cider vinegar. Attracted to ripe or ripening fruit, fruit flies could become a nuisance by laying eggs on these food sources, therefore causing a fast rise in their count. Fruit flies find vinegar's strong fermentative smell to be enticing, much like the smell of rotting fruit. Making a fruit fly trap from vinegar requires a basic but quite effective technique. You mix 1 spoon of vinegar with several drops of dish soap in a jar. With its smell, vinegar draws fruit flies. The dish soap lowers the surface tension of the vinegar solution. Fruit flies may normally land on liquid surfaces and fly away unharmed because of their capacity to stand on the surface tension of water. But once the soap breaks the surface tension, the flies sink and cannot flee upon touching it. Usually, apple cider vinegar is best for such traps. Its scent resembles that of the fruit flies. Thus, they naturally hunt out. To improve its strength, something sweet, such as sugar, plain white vinegar could also be useful. 8. Mildew and mold control. because vinegar is acidic and creates an unfavorable environment for mold and mildew to flourish. It is a useful tool for managing these organisms in the garden. Common fungal concerns that frequently show up in moist, shaded places and may impact a variety of surfaces, including garden furniture, pots, and even the plants themselves, are mold and mildew. Not only are these fungus ugly, but they could also damage surfaces they grow on and maybe compromise the health of plants. The active component in vinegar, acetic acid, is effective in destroying mold and mildew spores. Applying 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar to impacted areas upsets the pH balance required for mold and mildew growth. This disturbance essentially kills already existing spores and stops new development, therefore making them unfit for spore germination and expansion. You may spray full-strength white vinegar straight onto the impacted areas to utilize it for mold and mildew treatment. It could be diluted with water for bigger regions or as a prophylactic measure. To penetrate and destroy the mildew or mold spores, let the vinegar lie on the surfaces for some time. The areas should let air dry following application since the vinegar keeps fungal development under control. 9. Keep animals at bay. In gardens, even 1 spoon of apple vinegar could be a useful cat repellent, mainly because of its strong, pungent scent. Compared to humans, cats have a very sensitive sense of smell, so the strong smell of vinegar bothers them especially. Gardeners trying to keep cats away from particular places without harming them could find this natural dislike helpful. Cats may dig in the ground, urinate, or leave excrement when they invade a garden, which could damage plants or annoy the gardener. Cats may also ruin early seedlings or use garden beds as litter boxes, therefore upsetting plant development. Gardeners may use vinegar as a benign but powerful repellent to discourage cats from these activities. Diluting apple vinegar with water, often at a ratio of 1:1, then spraying the solution around the garden's perimeter, close to plant beds, or on sections of ground where cats regularly visit is the way vinegar is used as a cat repellent. Vinegar's acidity may damage plants, hence it is advisable not to mist them straight on. The fragrance of vinegar will probably cause cats to avoid an invisible barrier. 10. Revive acid-loving plants. By decreasing the pH of the soil, often required for these kinds of plants to flourish, 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar may be helpful for rejuvenating acid-loving plants in the garden. Plants that enjoy acids, azaleas, rhododendrons, gardenias, and blueberries, need a more acidic soil environment to best absorb nutrients, particularly iron. Without enough acidity, these plants could show symptoms of nutrient insufficiency, including stunted development and yellowing leaves, chlorosis. When diluted and used properly, the active element in vinegar, acetic acid, helps to momentarily raise the acidity of the soil. Usually 1 cup of white vinegar, the technique entails combining a tiny quantity of vinegar with a gallon of water. Poured around the base of the acid-loving plants, this diluted solution this acidic solution could help the pH of the soil drop, improving its suitability for certain plants. Using this approach calls for careful apple vinegar use and consistent pH monitoring of the soil. Overapplication may result in too acidic soil, which would damage the roots of the plant and cause more health problems. Furthermore, vinegar's effects on soil pH are transient, therefore, this approach could have to be repeated sometimes to keep the intended pH level. 11. Boost germination rates. Some seeds, like those of peas, beets, and other hard-coated flowers, have unusually tough exteriors meant to hinder early germination by nature. Longer germination times under normal circumstances may also result from this natural protection, though. Usually at a mild concentration, 1 teaspoon of vinegar per liter of water, soaking these seeds in a diluted vinegar solution for several hours before planting will help to gently soften the tough outer shell. The vinegar's acetic acid reacts with the seed coat to break down some of its constituents and increase permeability. This procedure replicates naturally occurring scarification, mechanically shattering the covering of a seed, which occasionally results from animal digestion or weathering processes. The seeds should be carefully rinsed to eliminate any remaining acid after soaking in the vinegar solution, then planted right away. This guarantees that the vinegar does not keep acting on the seeds, therefore perhaps damaging the embryo if left for too long. Now let's learn the limitations of using vinegar. While using 1 spoonful of apple cider vinegar in the garden has many advantages, from weed control to pest prevention, it also has certain clear restrictions and possible negative effects. 1. Non-selective action. When used as an herbicide, apple vinegar is non-selective, that is, it may damage any plant it comes into contact with, not only weeds. This makes it challenging to utilize in closely spaced desired plants or in heavily planted beds without running the danger of harming non-target species. 2. Transient pH changes in soil. Although vinegar might momentarily alter soil pH, its effects are not long-lasting. If long-term pH correction is required, this makes it a poor replacement for more consistent soil additions like sulfur. Frequent vinegar treatments to change soil pH could cause imbalances and compromise plant life. 3. Possible harm to plants. Applying apple cider vinegar straight or overdone could damage plants, depending on its acidity. It may scorch leaves, hurt young seedlings, and destroy the roots of more delicate plants. Vinegar should be carefully diluted to suitability, and direct contact with plants should be avoided. 4. Issues in soil health. By destroying helpful microbes that support soil health and nutrient availability, too much apple vinegar could lower soil fertility. Nutrient cycling depends on healthy soil microbiology, so upsetting this equilibrium might lower the quality of the soil. 5. Materials corrosion. If improperly used and neglected, vinegar may corrode metal, therefore damaging garden tools, irrigation systems, and other equipment. 6. Ineffectiveness against mostly woody weeds. Young, annual weeds with shallow roots respond well to vinegar. Against established or woody weeds, which may be more resistant to acidic treatments, it is less effective. 7. Regular reapplication is required. Whether used as a weed killer, pest repellent, or fungicide, vinegar breaks down rapidly in the environment and typically needs repeated reapplication to remain effective. 8. Limited effects as a pesticide. Although apple cider vinegar might discourage some pests, it is not useful against all garden pests and is occasionally a less good choice than more focused organic or chemical remedies. 9. Dangers of overacidizing soil. Especially when used regularly to reduce soil pH, there is a risk of making the soil overly acidic, which could lock in some nutrients and make them inaccessible to plants, resulting in nutrient shortages. 10. Different results. Environmental conditions, the kind of soil, and the particular plants or pests involved will all dramatically affect the potency of apple vinegar. What works in one context cannot work in another, hence gardeners must try and closely track outcomes. Every one of these uses of vinegar is a natural, reasonably priced way to keep a lively and healthy garden. Appreciating a lovely garden requires diligence and commitment. To make sure each application does not negatively impact your plants, first test every one in a tiny area. In today's video, we get to know about all the amazing benefits of 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar for the garden. But did you know that there are many juices that may be just as helpful for our health? Want to find out more? Watch 12 powerful health benefits of beet juice every day. Or watch 11 powerful health benefits of drinking carrot juice every day. You may watch either or both of them. Will you be using 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar in your garden from now on? Let us know in the comments section below.